For today, in the name of freedom, we take the battle to them.
Hello and welcome to another tier list video. And I was thinking of what to do for a tier list because I've been in a tier list mood recently, and I was like, what could I possibly do? And I was thinking Disney villains, but I went and looked on Tier List Maker for obviously like pre-made lists and things like that, and I thought I knew my Disney villains. I did not watch more than half those movies because I knew less than half the villains. And let's lower the camera. There we go. I knew like less than half of them. So I was like, you know what? There's no point in me doing that. Let me do something which, oh God, I'm not excited to do this. Oh God. Oh Lord, this is going to be a pain in the ass to edit. But, we're going to be optimistic. And I'm looking at the camera now and I'm realizing I'm wearing the same shirt I always wear when I do a face cam. And I'm realizing I probably look like a pauper, but anyway, who cares? Let's just go ahead and start off with this tier list. So, I did not make this tier list, so I didn't come up with the titles, but look at the top. We have GOAT, Amazing, Great, Fine, Meh, Bad, Hot Garbage, and Don't Remember. And Don't Remember is probably the worst one to be put in because that means that you were just so bland and boring that no one even remembers you. So this is not in any particular order. It's not in release order or anything like that. It is just going off. It's just random. And I would like to add that, of course, I have not seen every single MCU project. There's a fair amount of the shows I haven't seen. There's maybe 4 or 5 movies I haven't seen. So there may be a few here which I have definitely missed. But the ones that I don't know, I have kept mostly at the bottom. I say mostly because there's a lot of characters here and I definitely missed out a few. So first one up is Surtur. And I will put Surtur in Fine. I'm purely saying fine. Actually, no, I'm putting it in Meh. Because Surtur didn't really do anything. I say that. What I mean is, he wasn't really a character. He was in the beginning, and then he got defeated, and then at the end they were like, oh, well, he needs to cause Ragnarok, so let's just bring him back, and then he kills Hela. As far as a villain goes, he's pretty crap. He's just a plot device, really. So, I don't really think I need to elaborate more on why Surtur is not any higher than Meh. Now we have Ironmonger. I believe his name is Obadiah Stane. And you know what? I'm putting him in Fine. Because it's been a while since I watched the first Iron Man. But of course, Tony was a dick. He was a dick to a lot of people. And, Obadiah Stane, I did somewhat understand where he was coming from. And the only reason he's in Fine and not something like Great is because he wasn't the most memorable villain, mainly because it is the classic, just make him an evil version of the hero. That's basically what it was. But, yeah, he was alright, he was decent. Now we have this dude from, I think it was like Guardians of the Galaxy or Ms. Marvel or whatever. Anyway, I don't remember him. We're moving on. Now we have Malekith, and I gotta put him in hot garbage. Like, it's hard, man, because I am a defender of Thor: The Dark World. I quite like Thor: The Dark World, mainly because it is, well, dark. I like my dark Marvel movies, and especially after Love and Thunder, it amazes me that this movie doesn't get more praise. Well, I wouldn't say praise, but more defenders. But yeah, I've been a defender of it since the beginning. Malekith is not something that I can defend. Malekith is a very bland, boring villain, and he kind of just does nothing the entire film, so who cares? Now we have Hela, another Thor villain. We got 3 Thor villains knocked out, and it's about to be 4. Hela is going into amazing. She was fantastic. She was really, really good. I thought that Cate Blanchett was fantastic. I thought she was really, really good with this. I believe she was Marvel's first, the MCU's first female villain, and she still is the best. There's been a few after her, but she's still the best in my opinion. Like, she was good. She was dangerous. She was strong. She was hot. She was just evil. She's the goddess of death. That's what she is, and I loved her. I really, really loved her, and I didn't feel like obviously she did get defeated pretty easily by Surtur, but I didn't really feel like they wasted her. They made good use of the character, so I'm quite happy with that. Now we have what was his name? Shit! It was Laufey. Laufey, that's right. I'll put him in hot garbage, just because he has like two scenes. He has the scene on Jotunheim, and then he has the scene where he tries to kill Odin, and then he dies. I don't really know why you would put him in any other tier apart from Don't Remember, because I genuinely sat there for about 5 seconds wondering what this dude's name was, and if I didn't get his name, I would have put him in Don't Remember. But yeah, he wasn't really a villain. He was just kind of a cameo, I guess. So yeah, don't really think I need to justify that. Now we have Ghost, and Ghost, I'll put Ghost in meh. Ghost, I think, could have been better. It's been a while since I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I feel like they at least tried with her backstory, but they really didn't do a good execution of it, especially with the fact that there is no sort of resolution to anything. She kind of just hugs Lawrence Fishburne's character. Editing Chavez here. I would like to note that this video was recorded on the 22nd of March. So yes, obviously Thunderbolts has been out for a while now, so... And then she's just never seen again. And I know that obviously she's going to be in Thunderbolts, which is the next MCU movie that is coming out this year, sorry. But, she's not really a villain there, She's kind of good. But when she was a villain, she didn't really do much. It's a cool concept. It's a very cool concept. And I just think that they could have done more with her, So, yeah, Ghost going there. Now we have this dude. I think his name was Dreykov from Black Widow. And he's also going in hot garbage. I feel like for someone this evil and unforgivable, I feel like just shoving him in to a prequel movie was really disappointing. And I think that the entire idea of the Black Widow movie was just stupid, because I'm someone who never cared for Black Widow. I did not give a shit about her character. I actually preferred Hawkeye, because at least he had a family, something I could invest in. But the movie itself I actually thought was alright. I thought it was decent, but this guy was just such a meh villain. I could put him in meh, but at least with Surtur and Ghost, they felt like actual characters. He just felt like generic bad guy. So yeah, who knows? Now we have whoever this dude is. I don't fucking know and don't remember. Anyway, now we have Oh, come on, you know that Thanos goes to the top. Like, Thanos is amazing. He's amazing. There's no beating around the bush there. He is just one of the best there ever was, because he is an antagonist. I say that. He's the protagonist and antagonist of Infinity War. But he is such a good character, because you understand what he's doing, you understand why he's doing it, and it makes sense. It makes sense, and he has some of the best written scenes in the MCU. Like that whole part where he's explaining his backstory to Doctor Strange on Titan. you know, where he's like, and he delivers that amazing line of the hardest choices require the strongest wills. It's so good. Thanos he's iconic. There's no beating around the bush there. He's one of the best villains Marvel has ever had, and probably will ever have. So, yeah, Thanos is going there. Now we have Whiplash from Iron Man 2, and he's going in Don't Remember. Just because I feel like he was such a generic evil person. You know, I don't remember anything about his backstory. I just think someone maybe died. Like, he obviously had his whoops, and then he worked with the other rich bad guy dude. You know, I don't remember anything about Whiplash's character. So yeah, I don't think that needs to go. I don't think that needs any justification. Now we have Eleanor Bishop from Hawkeye, and you know, of course, I'm a Conjuring fan. I love Vera Farmiga, but this is going in hot garbage, mainly because she was like hardly a villain. You know, it was like some sort of twist in the last episode where like, oh yeah, actually Eleanor is the villain. You know, it was so like, I don't understand how Hawkeye wasted Vera Farmiga and Tony Dalton. Like, how do you do that? I still love Hawkeye though. I love that show. But yeah, Eleanor was just, she's not really a villain. I mean, she is a villain, to be fair. She did kill that guy. But yeah, like, she's just not memorable. I'm sorry. But yeah, now we have this dude, and like, I don't even know why he's here, to be honest. He's the mob boss guy from Endgame. You know, that one scene. Now we have Arman Zola. You know what? I will put him in great, because even though it's been a while since I watched, you know, like the Winter Soldier, the First Avenger, I remember really liking his character. I remember really liking him, and you know, maybe it was because I already saw him in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, but I quite liked everything. Like, I don't know, I just liked the way that he handled himself. I like the way he was written, especially this part where he's like on the screen and stuff. That's pretty creepy. But yeah, Zola was a pretty solid antagonist. Now we have Ultron, and this is difficult. But I am going to put Ultron. Like, I want to put him at the top of fine. As much as I want to put him in great, Ultron just, I don't know what it is about him, but there was just something about him that didn't feel that threatening. You know, I love his design. I love his voice. I love his personality. But I just feel like they should have done more with it. And especially with a movie called Age of Ultron, it wasn't really much of an age, my friend. It was more like a day. But yeah, you know, you got some really cool scenes with Ultron. Actually, no, fuck it. I'm putting him at the bottom of great. Just because he's so entertaining to watch, you know. Come to the story, he didn't really, he wasn't as impactful as he should have been, but he was just so much fun to watch, you know. So, fair enough. Ultron is going, he's going in great. Now we have Corvus Glaive. And Corvus Glaive as well is going to go in meh. Just because he was, of course, I mean, he was a side villain. You know, he wasn't meant to be like a really threatening force, you know, an intimidating presence. He wasn't meant to be that. He was just meant to be the guy that bullies Vision. So, yeah, Corvus Glaive, a side character, definitely going in meh. Now we have this guy from Thor: The Dark World again. Movie I defend, but yeah, he's going in Don't Remember. It is amazing to me how you have Loki killed by... I say killed. Actually, wait a minute. How did Loki not die there? Wait a second. I need to Google this. Okay, I found no information. Google was not helpful, but I doubt that that's a plot hole, because Loki just comes back. But anyway, this is the guy that killed Loki. He's a brute. Next, we have Ulysses Claw, Andy Serkis, Caesar himself, Gollum. He is gonna go in. He'll go at the top of meh. Much like Ultron, definitely probably one place higher than he should be, just because he's entertaining to watch. Plus in the movie he's South African. He said he's gonna go back to Joburg, and I'm like, no, come on, I gotta defend my fellow South African man. But yeah, Claw, entertaining to watch, but yeah, didn't really contribute much to the story. Now we have Killmonger, one who many people deem to be a top 5 Marvel villain. And you know what, right? I could put him in GOAT. I could put him in Amazing. If I didn't rewatch Black Panther, I say that was maybe 3 months ago. I rewatched Black Panther. If I didn't do that, he would be an Amazing. But there were certain things that I picked up on that I didn't pick up the first time. So I will be putting Killmonger in GOAT. Alongside Thanos, that is Amazing. Killmonger, the only reason why I would have put him in Amazing before is because it is a very generic story. Black Panther, as much as I love that movie, it is very much like The Lion King. And Killmonger, he's a good character, and I love the way Michael B. Jordan played him. I know, of course, everything that he suffered with mentally with this role, so immense respect to him for this. But the character was he was a really fantastic villain. He was a great antagonist, and I loved his thinking. These other poor places in the world, Wakanda can help them defend themselves against other more powerful countries. I love that. So yeah, he's going in GOAT. Now, what the fuck is that thing? I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea what that is. Now we have Cull Obsidian, and he is going to go... he's gonna go in bad, just because I would have put him in alongside Corvus Glaive, but he doesn't. Cull Obsidian doesn't even talk, so there's not really any need to elaborate on that. Now we have the Lizard, and I'll put the Lizard in fine. And granted, it could be biased, just because I am a defender of the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I love those movies, but the Lizard in No Way Home specifically, I think could have been way better. First of all, I think that he was way too green. The green was too saturated. It was too dark of a green, and the CGI was not as good as it was in 2012, which it blows my mind to say that. But anyway, he actually looked better in 2012 than he does nowadays. I would have given him the coat as well. I know that obviously he wore the lab coat for that one scene in The Amazing Spider-Man, but just going off how he was in this movie, he's fine. He's fine, because he didn't even turn into Curtis Connors, because of course they couldn't get Rhys Evans for it, but it's fine. If I was going to include The Amazing Spider-Man, he'd go in Amazing. Pun unintended. But yeah. Just because I love the way they handle that story. But anyway, I can't say anything. Now we have Dormammu, and Dormammu he's gonna go in bad. I'm sorry. Look, I know that he's powerful. He's powerful as hell. But it just in that Doctor Strange film doesn't do anything. He just provides us with the meme of Dormammu, I've come to bargain. That's all he does. So Don't come with the shit of, oh, don't worry, he'll be back, he'll be more intimidating. No, just get out of here. Just going by that Doctor Strange movie, he deserves to be in bad. Now we have the Winter Soldier, and the Winter Soldier is gonna go up in Amazing. He was great, especially in Civil War. I know people loved him in The Winter Soldier. I mean, that was his movie. You know, it's literally in the title. But I really liked The Winter Soldier in Civil War. And granted, it could be because of Zemo and the way that Zemo manipulated all of that. But I really love The Winter Soldier. I think that he provided with some of the best hand-to-hand combat the MCU has ever seen and probably will ever see. I just love the fighting. I just love how awesome he is. You know, that scene where he just catches Cap's shield is badass beyond belief. And yeah, it's so good. He really, really was awesome. And you know, this is villains. So I'm not talking about Bucky. I'm talking about the Winter Soldier. But of course, you gotta include Bucky's character before he became the Winter Soldier. And yeah, it's sad seeing him go from such an amazing friend to Steve to just having to fight him. And you know, even including Bucky, you know, during Civil War, the Winter Soldier, I would still put him in amazing because I really like him as a side character, but I don't think he's on the same level as Thanos. So yeah. Then we have Ebony Maw, and you know, I'll put him at the bottom of fine. Just because, I mean, he got the most screen time out of the entire Blackwater. He got the most dialogue. And, you know, he was really powerful. He got some cool sequences. You know, like when he lifts all the bricks, he just does this, and that was really cool. And, you know, it's so awesome. The way he just doesn't give a shit about anything. You know, like when I think Doctor Strange like makes the Cull Obsidian fly back towards him, he just goes, and Cull Obsidian goes flying the other way. I love that. So yeah, Cull Obsidian, probably going there. Now we have Ego, and Ego as well is gonna go in fine. I love Kurt Russell, I do, you know, but just in this movie, I was like, something's off with him. But that moment when he said he put the tumor in her head, I was like, what the fuck, man? That is atrocious. Like that is evil beyond belief. But the only reason that he's lower than he should be is because he just after that moment he kind of just vanishes. You know, he does, like, the character is no longer interesting. So that's the only reason why he's so low. It's just because the despicable things that he did, you know, especially with all of all of his children that he killed, all of that, it was just it was ridiculous. So yeah, Ego definitely going there. Now we have this bitch from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, hot garbage. Like they were trying. I respect it because that's something that realistically would happen if half the population disappeared. Is you would get these people who would try and fix these issues, but yeah, nah, just no. This character was so boring, and really had no personality to her. And I think we were supposed to actually care when she died, which. Yeah, fuck off. Now we have John Walker, and you know what? I will put John Walker at the top of fine. I think he is a very tragic character because, of course, he much like another character who I hope should be on this list. He should be. He was simply just a soldier who was doing what he was told. He thought he was doing good. He thought he was a good guy. But unfortunately, over here with the super soldier serum, the greed got to him. And he took it and he absolutely decimated that guy's head. I mean, we can assume, right? And he was annoying, yes. And sure, you can say that that's what it was meant to be. But I feel like having us flip-flop as to whether we're supposed to sympathize with him or not just ended up being kind of a drag. And granted, that could be because of the writing of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's definitely one of the weaker Disney Plus shows. But yeah, John Walker could go up after Thunderbolts, likely will. But you know, as of right now, he's staying at the top of fine. You know, I was thinking of putting him at the bottom of great, but no. Now we have Ravonna Renslayer from Loki, and she's just going in bad. I don't care about this character. She was evil, sure, but she never really did much. And like, I don't think I need to elaborate anymore. This bitch can just go in hot garbage because she does nothing in Guardians 2 apart from provide for some comedic scenes, and then in the third one she dies. So yeah, all she was there for was just to, you know, tease Adam Warlock. So yeah, get out of here. Now we have Maya Lopez from Hawkeye, because she's not the villain of Echo, but she is a villain in Hawkeye. I'll put her in bad. I'm sorry. Nobody asked for a show about her. No one cares. I respect the actress, and like, I have so much respect for her, because I believe she also has a prosthetic leg. I could be wrong, but I believe she does. And she is deaf in real life. So all the respect in the world to her, but the character herself is terrible. No, I'm sorry. And on top of that, she has a ripple effect. You know, sure, you can have one character be bad, but then once that ripple just, you know, gets bigger and bigger and it starts affecting other characters, Kingpin, that's when I start having problems, because this character, of course, was woven in with Kingpin. I mean, she's his niece, right? And Kingpin in Echo was just completely misused. So yeah, but just talking about Maya herself, very bland character. I'm sorry, I do not care for her at all. Now we have, I actually forgot his name. It wasn't Crossbones. I don't know what his name was, but this dude, Rumlow, from Civil War, and I guess, you know, count Winter Soldier as well. I'll put him in. Actually, let's be honest. He's going in Don't Remember. He's going in Don't Remember, just because genuinely I want you to think about it. Apart from the elevator scene and the beginning accident of Civil War, think of one scene with Rumlow where you actually remember him. Do it. Exactly. You can't. Maybe one of them, but you can't. This dude just kind of did nothing. He did nothing. He did nothing. So yeah, I don't care for him. Now we have Taskmaster, and Taskmaster as well is going in hot garbage, just because it is such an awesome concept. I remember I said I never cared for Black Widow, but when I watched the trailer for her prequel movie, and I saw that the villain was, because remember, obviously I didn't know this person from the comics. When I saw that she can mimic the Avengers' abilities, you know, like their combat style, you know, like when she did like the Black Panther claws, she had the shield, the Hawkeye's bow. Like, that is such a cool concept. I cannot wait to see that in the movie. And even I watched this movie in 2025, and you know, the movie came out 4 years ago, and 4 years of people telling me Taskmaster was disappointing, and even after I watched the movie, I was still disappointed with her. So that alone just puts her so low. I really couldn't believe that they fumbled this character so badly, considering what an amazing concept she is. So yeah, sorry Taskmaster. Proxima Midnight is just, she's gonna go in meh alongside her lover. She's a cool design. That's about it. J. Jonah Jameson. You all know he's going right to the top. He's okay, fine. We'll be realistic. We'll put him in fine. Just because, of course, you know, we're talking about the MCU. J. Jonah Jameson specifically. He doesn't do anything. Let's be honest. He just reports. You know, he just reports. So yeah. I'll put him in fine, just because he did a decent job at infuriating you throughout the movie. So, yeah, I will put him in fine. Now we have Dr. Octopus, and he is going to go in great. And again, I am excluding Spider-Man 2. I am excluding the Sony Spider-Man movies here. Dr. Octopus in this movie, in No Way Home specifically, he was obviously kind of the standout, you know, okay, apart from Norman Osborn, of course, but I really liked his character here. He had such a great fight sequence. It was awesome. It really, really was. And then, of course, you have him be the first villain, really, to kind of turn to the good side. And I loved how they utilized his character, you know, especially with the callbacks of, you know, how are you? Yeah, and then Peter says, brilliant but lazy. And you see that look on Alfred Molina's face where it's clearly Doc Ock remembering that line that he said to him. It was so good. You know, Dr. Octopus in this movie I thought was a really cool addition. You know, he wasn't in it too much, but he was in it the right amount. And that, I think, is just fantastic. Now we have Caecilius from Doctor Strange, and I'm putting him in Don't Remember, which that is so hard to do, considering that it is Mads Mikkelsen playing this character. And, you know, to be fair, he had the one funny interaction with Doctor Strange. And apart from that, no, just no. Caecilius, I cannot tell you a single thing that he did. And yeah, there's just nothing else about him, I'm sorry. Maybe he can come back in some way, but I doubt it. I think that we are just completely done with this character. Now we have Agatha Harkness from WandaVision. Now, I have not seen Agatha all along because I do not give a shit about an entire Disney Plus show dedicated to a side character. And I'm putting Agatha in meh. I never really cared for her, but while I was actually watching the episode, I was so engrossed with everything she was saying. You know, and just I loved how they portrayed her. I really like her design, but yeah, I won't watch an entire show just about her. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed her, and even the parts where she was being like the preppy neighbor, you know, that was, of course, really good, to be fair. And the only reason she's not in bad is because she killed Sparky. She killed a dog. That is unforgivable. I'm sorry. So yeah, she's going in meh, and definitely not bad. Boy, now we have Kingpin. And look, right. Before I place him, I am going to say that Netflix's Daredevil will be included here because it is part of the MCU. However, Echo is also included in the MCU. And Echo and Hawkeye, I think they did damage the image of Kingpin, because in Hawkeye you have this like cartoonish amount of strength and durability that they give him, where he pulls the door off a car and it goes flying. And the amount of strength it takes for someone to rip a door off the car is it's ridiculous. It's impossible for a person to do that. So I feel like they definitely overdid it at times, you know, like having him be hit by a car and be like unscathed, and then of course he gets shot in the eye and he's basically back to normal. That being said though, there are 3 seasons of Daredevil that exist. And for that, I will be putting Kingpin there. And you know what? I do not care. This man was fucking terrifying. Genuinely tell me, when was the last time you guys were scared of a villain that you didn't even meet yet? The way that they set him up in Daredevil, episodes 1 to 4, were amazing, because you have that guy where Matt is clearly, he's interrogating him, and then he says Wilson Fisk, and as soon as Matt lets that guy go, he slams his face into the fence and it like goes through his eye and kills him. And I'm like, people are that scared of him that they just off themselves immediately. That is terrifying, because I believe it's the end of episode 4 when we meet him at the art gallery. And my god, Kingpin is just such a scary character. You know, he is terrifying. And the way that Vincent D'Onofrio plays him is just unbelievable. I still, to this day, cannot believe that that is Hoskins from Jurassic World. They look like two completely different people. And, you know, it's not just the way that he talks as Wilson Fisk. It's his appearance. He just looks so different. So, yeah. Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, right to the top. There's no doubt about this. Especially with Daredevil Born Again, you know, going on currently. Him as mayor, I think, is just such an interesting concept, and it is hilarious, to be fair. You know, like the beautiful scene of him sitting with the children singing "We Built the City," and you know, when the teacher goes, and now for this next one, and he's like, "Oh no!" It's just brilliant. That's how you introduce humor to such a scary and intimidating character. So, yeah, Kingpin, very, very happy putting him right at the top. Now we have this stupid guy from Hawkeye, and he's going, and don't remember because no one gives a shit about him. Sandman is gonna go in fine, just because I feel like in No Way Home they could have used his character better, especially with him being the only villain that did not want to, he's the only villain that actually wanted to go back, you know, because all the other ones were like, oh, you know, we're gonna die, we're not gonna go back there. But of course, Sandman does not die, and he just wants to go see his daughter. So I feel like they could have introduced a concept there. They could have had Sandman work with the Spider-Man, because I just don't know why they kept him as a villain in the final battle. It doesn't make sense. I say that I still love No Way Home beyond belief, but yeah, Sandman I think was definitely underutilized. And to be fair, they couldn't get Thomas Hayden Church back, so I'll forgive them. Oh boy, I'm gonna need a sip of water for this one. Now we have Loki. Loki, you are going in meh. Until I put you in GOAT. Loki is an amazing character. And, you know, I will be honest with you. Until I watched Infinity War, I was like, Loki is the best Marvel villain. He was so good. He was so funny. He was entertaining. But in the Avengers specifically, he was actually scary. I love what they did with him in the Avengers. That very first shot of him when he teleports to the SHIELD facility with the Tesseract, and you just see that grin when he lifts his head. That is creepy shit, man. And especially, again, I will not be... This is main Loki, I assume. You know, it's not including the Loki from the show. But even if it is, he's still going in GOAT. So, yeah. I feel like I might still keep Killmonger above him. Actually, no, I won't. Fuck it. Loki's going top 3. Loki was such a fantastic villain. He was amazing. And the only person who I know who does not like Loki is my mother. She does not like him. She hates him. Has never liked him, even though he's funny as hell. So, anyway, that's that. Then we have He Who Remains, who is just going in bad. He's entertaining, sure, but again, he's like a one-scene guy. You know, it's another one of these things that Disney Plus shows where it's just introduced at the very end. And, you know, I'm sorry. Like, even though he was in Loki season 2, I just feel, actually, okay, fine, I'll put him in meh. I'll put him in meh just because he's entertaining to watch. But yeah, especially now with the Kang storyline going nowhere, and Doctor Doom is probably going to kill the entire Kang Council of Kangs. I doubt that He Who Remains will actually amount to anything important in life. So yeah, now we have Nebula, and you know, Nebula is going to go in great, because I am going to include Nebula as a villain. I am obviously, right, I think I've made this pretty clear. Characters who have been in like multiple movies, like Loki, right? Loki's been in multiple projects. He's been in all the Thor movies, he's been in the Avengers, he's been in the entire Loki series, but I'm only including the time when he was a villain. So Loki show I don't think counts, but even if it does, he's still at the top anyway. Nebula, I am counting the 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies, because that's where she was the villain. And you know, I guess Endgame too. But I'm putting her in great because she was, okay, the reason why she's not higher is because really all she is the jealous sibling. But the reason why she's in great is because of the way they went about it. And you know, it's mainly because of that dialogue exchange in Volume 2, when she's screaming at Gamora. You know, she's like, all you wanted to do was win, and all I wanted was a sister. That scene was so good, it was unbelievable. So yeah, I'm very comfortable putting Nebula right at the top. Well, not right at the top. Nebula up in great. I thought that she was actually pretty good. Now we have Green Goblin, and this guy, again, I said it, I'm not including the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, but it's a good thing that for Green Goblin, that means absolutely nothing. Green Goblin is going in GOAT, because this man had, what, 3 scenes. He had the bridge sequence, he had the apartment sequence, and then he had the final battle. He got teleported to an entirely different universe. Not city, not country, not continent, not planet. An entirely different universe. And he was unfazed. He was like, right, this is a new world for us to conquer. And then he just immediately goes to town on ruining Peter's life. This guy is diabolical, he's evil, he's entertaining as hell, and you know, how can I not put him at the top? You know, even with the 3 scenes he had, he was just fantastic, you know, and he had so many good lines, you know, especially when he first gets his hand webbed and he just turns and he's like, that's some neat trick, that sense of yours. It's so good. You just hear that voice and you're like, oh shit, it's the Goblin. So yeah, even, you know, taking the original Spider-Man movie out of the picture, he is top tier. Now we have this dude from WandaVision. Again, don't remember. I remember his character, but I don't remember his name. I just remember that he didn't want Wanda to take Vision's body because it's government property or something like that. Then there's Red Skull, and Red Skull is gonna go in fine. I'll put him above John Walker. Red Skull, I think, could have been utilized better. You know, in that first movie, especially considering he was played by Megatron himself from the live-action Michael Bay Transformers movies. He was played by Hugo Weaving. And, you know, I feel like they could have done more with him. I like his design. I really like his design. But, yeah, they should have done more with him, because ultimately he stopped kind of being a villain. But what I liked was that he was then stuck, you know, as he said, guiding others to treasures he cannot possess. And I love that he is just trapped, and his entire like point of existence is just him allowing others to take the Soul Stone, even though he can't. So I feel like that's a really cool idea, and it's just really torturous, to be honest with you. So yeah, Red Skull is going in fine. Ronan. Ronan the Accuser is going in meh. He's an alright villain. He's a basic villain. Well, Marvel really doesn't have the best track record with their villains, do they? Because, yeah, Ronan is just... He exists. He killed the other, and that's it. He showed up in Captain Marvel. So, yeah. Interesting design. I like his, like, hammer thing. But, yeah, apart from that, get out of here. Yellow Jacket is just gonna go in bad. He exists... You know, and especially with the way that they continued the story with Quantumania. Okay, exclude Quantumania, because there he's MODOK. He was just generic business bad guy. So, yeah, I don't really care. And, oh, speaking of generic business bad guy, there's this dude from Iron Man 2. Hot garbage. Don't care about him. Actually, no, I'm going to put don't remember. I genuinely... Okay, fine. Do hot garbage, because I do remember him. Yeah. Just he was just working with Whiplash in trying to take down Tony Stark. I think. I don't actually remember. But yeah, he was pretty crap. Then there is Alexander Pierce from The Winter Soldier. And I'll put him in meh. I'm sorry. I'm not as high on this guy as I know most people are. But to me, he felt kind of generic. Kind of generic. I think he definitely could have been better. Now we have Shocker from from Spider-Man Homecoming, and he's just going in hot garbage. I'm sorry. He doesn't do anything. He has like one scene of him getting the shocking thing, and Vulture goes, "Now you're the Shocker." So yeah, pretty crap. This dude is also going to go in hot garbage just because he does nothing in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he doesn't need to be spoken about again. Scorpion as well, hot garbage. Sorry, I love the actor, I forgot his name, but yeah, he didn't do anything in this movie. And I would just like to take this opportunity to clarify something, that people are completely misinterpreting that Homecoming post-credit scene, even though it's been 8 years since that movie came out. The post-credit scene of that movie was not teasing the return of Scorpion. So people should stop going into every Tom Holland Spider-Man movie going, "Where's Scorpion? Where's Scorpion? Where's Scorpion? You teased him at the end of the first movie. Where is he?" That scene was not there to tease Scorpion. It was there to show that Vulture would not reveal Peter's identity. You know, it's just that it just so happened to be Mac Gargan, because he was a criminal who we saw already in the movie. So, yeah, it wasn't there to set up Scorpion's return. It was just there to show you that even after being beaten by him, Vulture would not give up Spidey's identity. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. And speaking of Vulture, he is going to go... I don't care, I'm sorry. He's going to the top of great. I really like this character. Michael Keaton just plays him in such a fun way. It's cool seeing Michael Keaton be a villain. And, you know, I love that they give him that quick, you know, little shot of the Vulture's wings in the light of the moon. I thought it was brilliant. I love the twist of him being Liz's dad. I don't think many people saw that coming. But, yeah. It was really good. So yeah, Vulture, awesome. Just, you know, ignore what happened in Morbius. Now we have Electro. And Electro is going to go at the bottom of great, just below Dr. Octopus, and actually I'll put him above Nebula. He was really good in Spider-Man No Way Home. And the only reason why he is, you know, below Dr. Octopus is just because, as much as I love both versions of Electro, I feel like that personality change was a little bit too quick, and they could have done a better job at explaining how his look has changed. Because he just says, "The energy here, it feels different." That's all that's all they say. That's all they say. So yeah, they could have explained a little bit more about Electro, but overall, it was just so cool seeing Jamie Foxx back as Electro, because The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I've said it before, I will always defend that movie. I'll defend it till I die. It's my favorite solo Spider-Man movie. and Electro was just such a fantastic villain. You know, he wasn't the best written character in the world, but he was just so cool. You know, I love his design. I love him so much. So yeah, Electro is going to great. But again, I'm excluding the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Otherwise, he would be an amazing. So yeah. Then we have Mysterio, and Mysterio is going in amazing. I really enjoyed Mysterio, and I am someone who, again, never watched any of the cartoons or anything like that for Spider-Man, so I didn't know Mysterio was a villain. So for me, the twist actually did work. I was quite surprised by it, because even though, you know, you're sitting there like, Peter, don't trust this guy. What are you doing? They still pulled it off, in my opinion. I really enjoyed Mysterio's betrayal. I love his design. I love the way that they did the fishbowl helmet, the illusions and things like that, especially for that one sequence, was just phenomenal. And it's just the way that they did everything. This man ruined Peter's life. He ruined his life. He revealed his identity to the entire world. That is ridiculous. So yeah, Mysterio had he had a big impact on the story. He looked great. He was fun to watch. Just amazing, really. So that's exactly why he's going in amazing. Now we have the freak from Captain Marvel. Get in, don't remember. I don't remember you. Taserface, I will put in hot garbage, just because apart from that one line, he doesn't do anything. I don't even know why he's here. And here we go. The Abomination I will put in meh. Now, I have not watched The Incredible Hulk since 2020 maybe. So yeah, that was the first time I watched it, and I remember hating that movie. But I need to rewatch it with a fresh set of eyes, should I say? And The Abomination, I would have put in hot garbage, but I never thought I would say this, but She-Hulk actually made this better. She-Hulk, for all the things it did wrong to Hulk-related characters, Abomination included, I love the scene of him explaining that he was just a soldier who was, he went out to protect his country and things like that. Him going, there's a monster going around, I'm a soldier, I'm doing what I'm told, and he's seen as the bad guy. That I actually really liked. So yeah, that's the only reason Abomination is not in bad or hot garbage, is because of that one little bit that he, much like John Walker, is a soldier. He was just a soldier doing what he was told, but ultimately, unlike John Walker, it was pretty fair. He killed the guy, but for Abomination, that was unfair. Scourge from Ragnarok is going in hot garbage. Okay, fine, I'll put him in bad. Just because he's not a villain. He may have sided with Hela, but he's not a villain. Now we have Wenwu from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and he is going. I'll put him at the top of. Okay, I'll put him below Vulture. I will put him below Vulture for one reason, is that this dude was so gullible. And it's been a while since I watched Shang-Chi. I watched it when it came out, but so there could have been something that I missed or something that I've forgotten, where it's like he had no choice in listening to the dragon thing. But just from what I remember, I feel like he shouldn't have been so gullible to believe that it was his wife calling him. So yeah, Wenwu, fantastic character. He was really good. But I feel like I doubt that for someone so smart, he would fall for that, So, yeah, that's just my opinion. Now we have Jude Law's character, whatever the fuck his name was, from Captain Marvel. And is it really any surprise? Who cares about this guy? Who actually cares about him? The only positive is that he's played by Jude Law. That is it. So, yeah, no one gives a shit about him. Zemo is going right to the top. I will put him above Loki because I can't. So, okay, actually, no, I just put him at the bottom. Zemo was a mind-blowing villain because he's not a villain. He is an antagonist who is 100% sympathetic, understandable. You somewhat actually kind of side with him because when it comes to Captain America Civil War, you were wondering what is it going to be that tears the team apart. And, yes, the Sokovia Accords, that was just a thing that ended up making them have a disagreement. But Zemo knew exactly every button to push that would cause the Winter Soldier to cause as much damage as possible. He, first of all, framed Bucky for the death of King T'Chaka, and that, of course, turned Black Panther against him. He, of course, revealed that Bucky was the one that killed Tony's parents, and Steve, knowing that, just tore those two apart. Zemo is the reason that Infinity War happened. He is the reason that we never got the OG 6 Avengers fighting together again. And he was the reason why he's such a phenomenal villain is because, well, first of all, his backstory is just incredibly sad. That is heartbreaking. And on top of that, he is just a human. The character that tore the Avengers to pieces, that caused them to fight each other and almost kill each other, was simply just a human. No powers, no abilities, none of that. No super soldier serum. It was just plain and simple. He lost his family, and the Avengers, they went home. That was a heartbreaking monologue from him. And also, of course, they do tease, well, I say they tease, he was, of course, going to off himself, which is pretty dark for a Marvel movie, especially nowadays, when Marvel is mainly kid stuff. Having that, almost happen, but then T'Challa stopping him and being like, the living are not done with you yet. That was a great scene. So, yeah, Zemo, sympathetic, amazing, successful. You can't beat him. He's an amazing villain. He really, really was. Now we have the Destroyer from the first Thor movie. He's going hot garbage just because it's a machine. What the fuck is this? Where else is this meant to go? Who actually cares? Now we have M'Baku, and M'Baku is not a villain. So I don't actually know why he's here, but you know what? I'm not putting him on this tier list. I refuse to. I'm sorry. But yeah. Now we have the Grand Master, who is going in bad. I love Jeff Goldblum. I love him. Jurassic Park's one of my favorite movies ever. But the Grand Master did basically nothing. So yeah, he was entertaining. Sure. Actually, no. Fine. I'll put him in there. I'll put him in there just because he was so much fun to watch. But yeah, Grand Master, not a fantastic villain. He wasn't meant to be. He's not the main villain. He's just meant to be there for a fun little sequence. But yeah, there really is no need to talk about him anymore. Going at the bottom. Now we have this random thing from Captain Marvel. Piss off. Miss Minutes is going in fine, just because she is she's creepy. She is very, very creepy, especially when she gets kind of obsessed with Victor Timely. Yeah, nah, that thing is scary. So yeah, Miss Minutes, actually, okay, yeah, I'm putting it at the top of meh, never mind. But yeah, she was kind of very, very preppy and things like that, which really, I mean, those are the characters you must watch out for. But yeah, not the main villain. Could have been better. I feel like I'm saying that for a lot of villains here. Now we have Arthur Harrow, and I genuinely cannot believe that I remember his name. He's going in bad. The only reason why he's not in hot garbage is just because Ethan Hawke is such an impeccable actor that he plays him so well that even though the character was underwhelming, I still kind of enjoyed him when he was on screen. So yeah, that is entirely Ethan Hawke's fault there. He's just such a great actor. Now we have this thing from Multiverse of Madness. It's a 1 second. It's a one sequence thing. So piss off with that. Now we have Mordo, the Sorcerer Supreme, I believe he is, and you know Mordo is gonna go in bad because he's not the Mordo that we wanted. We wanted the real Mordo, and this guy just he's just there. So I'm sorry, I did not care for him at all. He had some cool sequences, sure, but yeah, no, just get out of here with that. Now we have this thing. I forgot its name, but I'll put him in hot garbage as well because again, much like the toilet paper monster, it's a one sequence thing. I don't think anyone cares about it. Now we have Scarlet Witch herself, and I will put Scarlet Witch in great, just because there's so many plot holes with her plan and things like that, which I could get into. But the main thing that pissed me off was that she did not care for Vision at all. She only wanted her kids. And I'm like, lady, what the hell? Like, you don't care about Vision, even though you literally had I was gonna say a vision. You had like a day nightmare, whatever the hell you call that, of dead Vision without the Mind Stone of All Grey, which was amazing jump scare. Clearly his death affected you, and you don't want Vision to return? I don't believe that. I'm sorry, I don't buy that at all. So yeah, whoever the fuck this was from Hawkeye, I think he goes there. Yelena is going in bad as a villain, just because her not listening to Hawkeye for that finale, I think, was incredibly stupid. That doesn't seem like the person that Yelena was in Black Widow. And again, she's not really a villain. She is only an antagonist to Hawkeye in that one episode. So yeah, I'm sorry. Yelena just wasn't a great villain. Now we have this Croc thing from Moon Knight who's going in hot garbage. She didn't really do anything. The DODC guy is also going in hot garbage just because he had one sequence. Didn't really do much. My boy. Gore the God Butcher is going in meh. I cannot believe what they did to this character. Gore is, in my opinion, Thor's best villain. I mean, his name is Gore the God Butcher. That is so fucking awesome. And you cast Christian Bale, an amazing actor, in this role, and you just completely waste him. This, to this day, is and probably will forever be Marvel's biggest fumble with an actor/character, because I couldn't believe what they did with Gore the God Butcher. They didn't have him butcher a single god after the opening sequence, and they just kind of made him amount to, oh, the sword is making me do bad things. You know, break the Necro Sword and then you can get, you know, you can kind of get to the real Gore. What the fuck, man? I couldn't believe what they did with Gore. I like his design. I think that they could have done more with it, but at the same time, you don't want to limit Christian Bale's expressions, because, as I said, the man is a great actor. You know, American Psycho, he's fantastic, and the only reason he's in meh is because the scenes that he's in are the best scenes of the movie. He just steals the show in every single sequence, and you have some parts of dialogue which are just so good. Like when he's talking about how his daughter died and everything like that, and then when he gets to the end of that monologue, he's like, and now I realize that my daughter was the lucky one. That did hit me in the feels, to be honest with you. But yeah, Gore the God Butcher, the biggest fumble by Marvel ever. Also from Thor Love and Thunder is Zeus, and Zeus is going in hot garbage. I'm sorry. I cannot believe that you cast Russell Crowe, an Oscar winner, Maximus Decimus Meridius himself, as a freaking god. Not just any god, the god in charge of the gods, you know, and you turn him into this. I refuse to elaborate. Now we have Valentina. I think her name is Valentina. I don't actually give a shit. She's also going hot garbage. I'm sorry, I find Val a very sickening character. I don't care for her at all. She's not interesting to me. She's not entertaining. And yeah, I refuse to care. I don't care for her character. I'm sorry. Now we have, I believe this is Namora from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and I'm putting her in hot garbage because she says like what 2-3 lines and that is it. Even for this dude, he's also gonna go in hot garbage. Actually, I'll put him just above her just because he gave Okoye such a good fight. That scene on the bridge is probably the best fight of the movie. It was amazing. It was such a great scene, and especially Okoye versus this dude, pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we have Namor, and Namor is going in great, and I will put him above Wenwu. Namor, I thought, was a fantastic character. I love his backstory. I love how he explained everything with his mother. I love how he got his name. I love that. And it's just the design of him, his character, the writing, the fact that he killed the queen. He actually killed her, which was the most infuriating part of the movie, in obviously a good way, because that's, you know, what it was meant to be. Namor is just such a great villain. He really, really was. And actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'll put him in amazing. He was really, really good. And yeah, it was nice seeing how much he cared for his underwater city. He wasn't like a tyrannical ruler. Now we have this fucking prick. Let's put him in garbage. What the fuck is that thing? I don't fucking know. Put a don't remember. Who cares? Actually, you know what? Yeah, Todd, you're also going don't remember. Okay, fuck it. Now we have Leapfrog. Don't remember. Who cares for Leapfrog? This dude from Quantumania. Don't remember. MODOK. Hot garbage. Sorry. I feel like people crap on the MODOK CGI way too much because there is genuinely no way to make him look good in live action. I'm sorry. But even just the character of MODOK, it's like, oh, how do I stop being bad? Well, don't be a dick. Oh, that's a great idea. That's literally all MODOK is. It's so stupid. I couldn't believe it. Kang the Conqueror. Kang is going to go in bad. And that is unbelievable to say because Kang was meant to be the next Thanos of the MCU. And I genuinely could not believe that this man who has killed so many Avengers, you know, he said it himself, do you have any idea how many Avengers I've killed? And, you know, he specifies Thor, where he specifies the one with the hammer, which obviously should be Thor. He kills Thor, and he lost to Ant-Man. He lost to Ant-Man. You deserve to be dead if that's the Avenger that you lose to. Because holy shit, I couldn't believe how they fumbled Kang in this movie. Not as bad as they fumbled Gore the God Butcher, but Kang just, like, he didn't carry the movie the way Gore did. Gore, every moment he was on screen, you're like, oh shit, this is great. But with Kang, it's like, sure, you know, you can tell me how great you are, you can just tell me how dangerous you are, how dangerous your variants are. I don't care. You know, that was the problem with Kang, is they just kept talking about him. We never got to see anything. So, yeah, Kang is going in bad. Officer Nolan, that's what I'm going to call him because I don't remember his name in this movie. I'll put him in don't remember. And I love Nathan Fillion, and I hated him when I thought he killed Drax. But yeah, Officer Nolan is probably going to go in don't remember. Now we have the High Evolutionary, and High Evolutionary is going to go at the top of amazing. This guy was just straight up evil. And, you know, that's sometimes what we need from an MCU villain, is just to be straight up evil. Don't make them misunderstood. Don't make them, like, being possessed by an object. None of that crap. Just have them be evil for the sake of being evil. This guy was diabolical, you know, where he's like, there is no God. That's why I stepped in. The only reason why he's not in GOAT is because I do feel like he screams a little bit too much. But as far as the character goes, I thought that he was intimidating, he was sickening, he was evil, and just unbelievable. I really, really loved his character. And, you know, everything that he did to Rocket and his friends was just, my God, still the most heartbreaking shit in the MCU. So yeah, High Evolutionary probably doesn't deserve to be at the top of amazing, but I'm putting him there. I'm sorry. Now we have Adam Warlock, who is gonna go in meh, because apart from the opening scene, really, he's not really a villain. You know, he's like, oh yeah, I gotta do this for my mom, but then he gets turned into a hero anyway. So, you know, whatever. Then we have Gravik from Secret Invasion, who's gonna go in hot garbage. I'm sorry. That entire thing of getting all the powers of all the Avengers was such a stupid fucking concept. I'm sorry, that's just rubbish. This bitch from Loki, she's actually gonna go in meh. I don't remember much of her, but I remember that she was just pruning timelines like there's no tomorrow, killing trillions and trillions and trillions as if it was nothing, and that is just unbelievable in my opinion. That's the only reason she's in meh. That is really high. That's the 4th lowest tier. So yeah, random bitch woman. Okay, fine. I'll put it in bad. I don't remember her name. This guy, I don't fucking remember him. I just remember he was some sort of actor person. Sinister Strange is gonna go in hot garbage. Didn't really do anything apart from that one cool sequence. So yeah. Oh, thank God we're near the end. Mr. Paradox is going to go in fine. You know, I'll put him in fine. Because, you know, sure, he was entertaining to watch. He was fun. But ultimately, he just kind of got sidelined for Cassandra Nova at the end, which could have been handled better. But yeah, I think that fine is more than all right. Toad from Deadpool and Wolverine, I'll put it bad. Okay. Fuck, I can't include the X-Men movies, can I? Shit. Fine, I'll put him in hot garbage then, just because. He does nothing apart from die, so yeah, I say that. He is technically the reason that they got captured in the first place, because he did activate the magnet. So yeah, I guess, fair enough, he'll go in hot garbage. Pyro, I will put above him. I'll actually put him, actually he's going a fair amount higher. I'll put him maybe just below Malekith, because he didn't do as much of the plot as Malekith did. But, you know, Pyro, pretty alright. Cassandra Nova, the main villain of Deadpool and Wolverine, is going to go in meh. Just because, I'll put her above Alexander Pierce, just because she really just kind of felt like a cool side character, but in the end they were like, oh shit, we need to have the villain do something, don't we? Oh fuck. And then she just wanted to destroy all the universes so that there's only the void left, which is the most illogical goal I've ever witnessed in a film. So yeah, Cassandra Nova just could have been good. Really could have been good. You know, I don't know how you defeated evil Charles Xavier. That should not be possible. But they did it. Sabretooth, unfortunately, is going to go in hot garbage because even though they did, you know, he kind of got the standout sequence, which actually I will put him above Toad for that. He died. He died very easily, which I feel shouldn't have happened. I think we should have gotten a better fight between him and Wolverine. But yeah. Now we have the final film of the MCU so far, and that is The Leader. That sentence did not make sense, but you know what I was trying to say. The Leader is gonna go in May. That is very painful for me to do, because I think that The Leader, he is such a cool concept, and I think the MCU really hates, you know, characters with cool concepts, because the Leader in the comics is basically looks like Frankenstein. You know, he has the giant forehead and everything, and he's meant to be insanely intelligent. But in Captain America Brave New World, they don't really do that. They don't really show that. And I'll be honest with you, I like his look. I think it's an interesting adaptation of what the radiation would, what the gamma would do to a person. You know, of course, it's his brain growing out of his head, which is just such a disgusting look. But I can't help but wonder what the original look would have looked like. I feel like this would have been better and less ridiculous, because, of course, the Frankenstein look will look stupid in live action, especially with that concept art that was shown off. It does look kind of strange. It looks like how it does in the comics, but, you know, translate that into a movie, it will look ridiculous. But I just feel like with The Leader, you have I forgot his name, who plays Samuel L. Stans, but he gave such a good performance here with his voice, his demeanor, you know, his body language, everything like that was just so good. It's just a shame that they underutilized his character so badly. You know, he gets out of prison, and then he watches, that he knows that Ross is about to turn to Red Hulk, and then he just goes back to prison. And I'm like, what was the plan, my guy? That doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, I also feel like the character who is so insanely smart, and, you know, his whole thing is odds, you know, the calculating the odds of certain things working out. Him losing just doesn't make sense, because I'm like, clearly he's not that smart because his odds failed him. So yeah, The Leader, definitely a disappointment, but still pretty cool. And now we have the final villain, because all the other ones are characters who oh no, sorry, never mind, second last villain. All these characters are from things that I have not seen, I believe, or that I just don't remember. Actually, you know what? No, I've seen Werewolf by Night. So all of the characters in black and white, I assume, are from Werewolf by Night. They are all going in don't remember, because I don't remember a single thing about that special. So then we have Sidewinder, who, I mean, I love Giancarlo Esposito. I love him, but he's got to go in bad, you know, because apart from that one sequence where he ambushes Sam in the car, this dude did absolutely nothing. So yeah, I couldn't believe that. That was disappointing. And now for the final villain of the video, the Red Hulk. And Red Hulk is going to go in fine. And the reason why Red Hulk is going so high is because it was so awesome seeing a return of a proper Hulk. Because, again, I'm someone who never cared for the Incredible Hulk, so things like the thunderclap and everything like that, sure, it was cool, but I always associated with that movie, which I always hated. But just seeing Red Hulk just be savage was so good, because of course Hulk has been on the decline ever since Ragnarok, right? And it is so cool seeing a Hulk with no strings attached. He destroys the White House, he does the thunderclap, he does the super jump. Bro, it was so awesome. The fight he had with Sam was great. I love how it didn't feel like Sam won that because of plot armor, which I actually think was really impressive, and I don't think gets enough credit that is, for what it did. Because Sam is just a regular human, and he fought a freaking Hulk. But I love the details of the Red Hulk. Things like him. The more angry he is, the hotter he gets, and I love how all the petals that when Sam is talking to him and he's still growling and seething, you see the petals that fly against him just disintegrate because they get burnt. But when he's calmed down, he's holding the petals and they don't burn, showing his emotions have calmed down. It's so good. People crap on Brave New World way too much, and goddamn, I definitely think they shouldn't have marketed this entire movie about Red Hulk, because it was one sequence, and thankfully that is all I expected, because otherwise I would have been pissed. But yeah, I really enjoyed Red Hulk, and so that is all of the villains from every movie/show of the MCU that I have watched. I'm pretty happy with this tier list. There's maybe a few things I might change around, but as of right now, I think that this is a solid list. So yeah,
I know one of you will be wondering, Val is still staying where she is, and Void would go up into probably great. I think I'd put him just below Nebula there, because that was just genius. Void was absolutely amazing. I think I'd also put the High Evolutionary into GOAT. Come on, man. The dude was a menace.
Please just let me know your guys' thoughts on this list. I'm very scared to hear them, but of course, I just love to hear your opinion on things. So yeah, just let me know what you think about each of the rows. Do you think there were some characters I was a bit too lenient on, or perhaps some I was a few too harsh on? Just anything and everything, let me know down in the comment section below. And I think that is pretty much it. So, if you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.